So let me take you to one of the darkest chapters of my life, which is a period when I felt like I was drowning in my own mediocrity. The mirror became my enemy. I'd avoid it at all costs, especially when getting dressed, taking my shirt off. Forget about it. Pool parties were torture chambers, and beach trips were carefully orchestrated cover-up operations. But honestly, the physical discomfort was just the tip of the iceberg. What really ate at me growing up was how I felt people saw me, or more accurately, how they looked right through me. In class, my ideas seemed to carry less weight. In social situations, I felt invisible. There's something about carrying yourself with shame that broadcasts to the world that you don't think you're worth much, and people tend to take you at your own valuation. So I ended up having a brutal conversation with myself. I looked in the mirror and really looked and asked the hard questions. The revelation, both devastating and liberating, the biggest obstacle standing between me and the life that I wanted wasn't my circumstances or genetics. It was my health habits. Everything. My confidence, my energy, my self-respect, how others perceived me. All of it traced back to how I was treating my body. So here's what I wish someone told me earlier. When you commit to transforming your body, you're literally rewiring your brain's neural pathways and altering your body's biochemistry in ways that affect every aspect of your existence. Research shows that regular resistance training increases the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which is basically miracle grow for your neurons. This protein helps create new neural connections and protects existing ones, improving everything from mood regulation to your memory. When you lift weights, you're not just building muscle, you're building a stronger and better brain. The hormonal changes are also profound as well. Consistent strength training naturally boosts your testosterone levels, which directly impacts your confidence, decision-making ability, and your assertiveness. It's like your body starts producing its own confidence serum, literally. Additionally, exercise triggers the release of endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, your brain's natural cocktail of happiness and motivation. But honestly, most importantly, exercise creates what psychologists call mastery experiences. Every time you complete a workout that you didn't want to do, every time you add weight to the bar, every time you push through that moment when your mind says quit, but your body keeps going, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. So what nobody tells you about fitness transformations is that it's a lot like pulling on a thread that unravels your entire life in the best possible way. When I started showing up to the gym consistently, eating right, something shifted in how I approach everything else in my life. If I could drag myself out of bed at 5 or 6 a.m. to lift heavy things for no immediate reward other than the long-term betterment, what else was I capable of? The discipline I developed in the gym started bleeding into other areas of my life, and that's one of the reasons I continue doing this. I began keeping promises to myself in small ways, going to bed on time, eating the meals that I plan to eat, and following through on my commitments. Each kept promise built trust with myself, and that self-trust became the foundation for bigger changes and bigger challenges. My posture changed, literally and figuratively. I started walking taller, speaking out more in classrooms and meetings, taking space in conversations. There's something about knowing you can deadlift 2 or 3 times your body weight that makes you feel less inclined to apologize for existing. People began responding to me differently, not because I looked dramatically different, but though that did come too, but because I was carrying myself like someone who mattered. The gym became my daily practice ground for delayed gratification. Every workout was a lesson in doing something difficult now for a payoff later. This skill, the ability to choose long-term benefit over short-term comfort, is arguably the most valuable life skill you can develop. So one of the most profound changes in my fitness journey really wasn't physical at all. I really do think a lot of this was the mental. The voice in my head slowly shifted from critic to coach. Instead of, I can't do this, became, I can't do this yet. Instead of, I'm not the type of person who exercises, it became, I'm becoming the type of person who prioritizes their health. I really think this shift in self-perception is backed by research in cognitive behavioral therapy. When you repeatedly engage in behaviors that align with your desired identity, your brain starts to accept that identity as true. Every gym session was evidence that I was someone who cared about their health. Every healthy meal choice reinforced that I was someone who made good decisions. The confidence that came from this transformation wasn't the shallow kind that depends on external validation. It was the deep, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you can commit to something difficult and actually keep going and see it through. When you've transformed your body, you have tangible proof that you can change anything in your life that isn't serving you. So as I changed, the way people interact with me changed too, as I already mentioned. People started seeking my input more frequently, Friends began inviting me to activities they'd never considered me before, and it wasn't just because I looked different, it's because I showed up differently in every interaction. Research in social psychology shows that we communicate confidence through dozens of microsignals. Most of it is going to be the nonverbal stuff: posture, eye contact, vocal tone, and personal space management. When you feel good about yourself physically, all of these signs line to project confidence and self-assurance. I also started attracting different types of people into my life. The gym introduced me to a community of individuals who value discipline, goal setting, and personal growth. These relationships, built around shared values of self-improvement, became some of the most meaningful connections in my life. So, if transformation is so beneficial, why don't more people do it? Most people are addicted to their comfort zones, even when those zones are making them miserable. There is a social or psychological phenomenon called learned helplessness, where people become so accustomed to their current state that they stop believing change is possible. Others get caught up in analysis paralysis, spending more time researching the perfect workout routine than actually implementing any plan at all. They're looking for guarantees in a process that truly requires faith. Faith in yourself and faith in the process, even when you can't see immediate results. And then there are those people who sabotage themselves through that all or nothing thinking. They think you need to transform your entire life overnight, and when they inevitably fall short of perfection, they abandon the effort entirely. They don't understand that transformation is built on consistency and not intensity. So, to summarize, physical fitness isn't just about looking good, although that is a great side effect. It's about building the physical and mental infrastructure to live the life you actually want. When you have energy, strength, confidence, possibilities that were previously unimaginable become realistic goals. I think about the opportunities I missed in my previous life. Not just physical activities from being out of shape, but social opportunities, career chances I didn't pursue because I didn't believe in myself, relationships I didn't pursue because I didn't think I was worthy, and experiences I avoided because I was ashamed of how I looked or felt. Now, when opportunities arise, my default response isn't, I can't, or I'm not qualified. It's, how can I make this happen? That shift in mindset, born from the confidence of physical transformation, opened doors that I didn't even know existed. The gym taught me that progress isn't always linear, that plateaus are temporary, and that the most important rep is the one you do when you don't feel like doing it. These lessons apply far beyond fitness. They're life principles disguised as workout wisdom. So, if you're watching this while living a life that feels smaller than what you're capable of, I want you to know that change is not only possible, it is inevitable. This question isn't whether you'll change, it's whether you'll direct that change or let it happen to you randomly. Every day you postpone taking care of your health is a day you're choosing comfort over growth, familiarity over possibility. Your future self isn't counting on the decisions you make today, and that person deserves better than excuses and procrastination. Truthfully, this path isn't easy, but it is simple. Start with where you are, with what you have, and refuse to negotiate with the voice that tells you to quit. Your body is the vehicle for every dream you'll ever pursue. I think that's worth the investment. The person you're capable of becoming is waiting on the other side of the discomfort you're avoiding. Stop making them wait.